Today I'll be talking about testing plus security, the career for you to take. So again, I'm Chua-Lagare. I'm the president and CEO of Kiwi 360. So as mentioned by Christina earlier, we provide training, consulting, and even remote testing. So since na pandemic tayo, remote testing for software development company. And I'm also the founder of QE is the new QA. So for most of you who haven't joined our Facebook group yet, feel free to do so. You can search us in Facebook and learn more about quality engineering in our group. So first of all, I want to know our members or our participants for today. Can you type one, please, in the chat if you have experience in the IT industry? Type 1. Okay. Okay. Konti lang. How about, ay na, dumami. Okay. Thank you. But if you are, just keep on typing 1. And then type 2 if you are an IT student who doesn't have any clear idea of what testing is. Type 2. IT student ka, pero wala kang idea talaga kung ano yung testing. Yan. At least I know na maraming magbe-benefit dito sa talk ko for today. Okay, yan. Dami. Okay, type 3, if you are a tester already, regardless if you are QA, QE, or kung ano mang terminology yung tawag nyo sa inyo, software engineering in test, type 3 for that. Dami pa rin 2. Okay. Ayan, may very few na 3. Okay, thank you. And then 4, if you don't belong in any of these categories I've mentioned earlier. So, hindi ka IT student, wala kang IT background. Ayun, meron. Kakaunti, ayan. Pero, ayan, thank you so much for giving me this information. So, firstly, let's talk about about testing. Kasi nga, as we have seen in our chat box, marami pa rin talaga sa schools ang hindi nag-discuss about testing. So, alam natin na maraming roles sa labas na QA, QE, we find it in job portals, but yet we don't have any clear idea ano ba talaga yung testing muna, anong gagawin ng mga yon. So all we know is that when we are at school, we spend 4 to 5 years in mostly programming, right? Nakaka-relate ba kayo? Puro programming. Karamihan, di ba? Aside sa mga English, mathematics, yung mga basics, no? Yung common subjects natin. Most of your subjects in IT are actually focused in programming. And some of your subjects, may iilan, na tungkol naman sa hardware, network, multimedia, database, right? Agree ba kayo? Thumbs up kayo if you agree. O hindi kayo nakaka-relate kasi wala kayo ng mga subjects na yun. But yes, ito yung pinaka-focus. And then the ones that are gray, ito yung alam natin kailangan natin sa thesis. Diba? System analysis and design, project management, technical writing, testing. Pero, ano napansin nyo, di ba? It's barely discussed when it comes to our subjects sa curriculum natin. Bibihira lang yung mga schools na merong, yes, I think there are at least 1 to 2 subjects dedicated for systems analysis and design. Pero yung project management, meron ba dito nagka-project management kayo na subject sa school? Or technical writing, meron ba? Pero ginagamit natin yun for thesis, right? Kailangan maayos yung pagdo-document, sinasabi nila tested, di ba? Pero hindi talaga nabibigyan ng emphasis. And the last one, the ones in red. Alam natin, ano to, medyo patok to sa, ano, sa roles sa IT. especially for yung specialization, 'di ba? Cloud services, cybersecurity. Unfortunately, nadadaanan lang 'to as topics, hindi nga specific subject eh. Siguro swerte na kayo kung meron kayong one subject for cybersecurity or cloud services. Alam natin, naririnig natin yung mga cloud, Amazon, Azure, pero walang dedicated subject for those, right? So, medyo kakaiba. Kaya nung nag-talk din ako sa conference ng mga IT educators, in-emphasize ko sa kanila yung need for these subjects. Kasi ito yung karamihan na um, mga roles na nilalandan natin when it comes to IT industry. So, syempre, majority of us are expected to become developers kasi dun nag-focus yung curriculum natin. And then, some of us nagla-lands as IT or network support. Ay pinaka-common dito, developer, IT network support, business analyst or systems analyst, technical writer, and QA/QE. Okay? So, kung makikita nyo, translate ko lang kung ano yung focus nung subjects into the corresponding roles. Okay? Pero ganun pa din. Iisipin nyo pa rin na, yes, ito, it makes sense na ang dami naming time na in-spend on this particular um, subjects. So, expected lang na ito yung maging roles na landan natin. But then, these are still common roles in the IT industry: business analyst, systems analyst, project manager, technical writer, QA/QE. Pero wala talaga tayong background. Kaya tinatanong ko kanina, 'di ba? Parang ilan sa inyo nakakaalam ano ba yung testing na may clarity kayo doon sa testing, 'di ba? And ang pinakamahirap pa, merong mga specializations like security, cloud engineering, product ownership, pero yun nga, hindi na tayo natuturuan nun. So, on the job natin natututunan, guys. Like most of us here, we learn it on the job. So, the ones in red, since they are specializations, we learn it siguro parang a couple of years after starting sa IT industry. Okay? Because it takes time talaga since it's a specialization. And then this one naman, tinatranslate ko lang kung ano talaga yung ginagawa nila. Ano yung ginagawa ng developer? Siyempre, they develop solutions. For IT or network supports, they support employees on their technical skills. For security specialists or security officers, they are called sa industry na information security officers. They set up policies. They also provide ano yung mga tools na kailangan gamitin. They are the ones monitoring the security issues, 'di ba? And for the cloud engineers, they set up infrastructures in the cloud. So, nag-monitor din sila pag mga productions, naka-release na tayo, sila yung nagbabantay nun. For testing, yan, gatekeeper of quality. I cannot really just put it into simple words na testing, diba? There's so much more about quality and testing. And since wala pa nga talaga kayong experience or background sa testing, let's imagine them as gatekeepers of quality. Diba na napanood nyo na sa iba, sa Thor. I can't remember which part ng Thor or which movie specifically sa Thor, yung merong guardian siya dun sa pinaka parang bridge, 'di ba? So ganoon ang purpose ng testers or QAs or QEs. We are the gatekeepers. We cannot just allow people to use the applications na hindi dumadaan sa atin, 'di ba? So, before letting the users in, tayo muna yung pagdadaanan ng application natin. Okay? So, ano naman yung quality? So, alam nyo na kung ano yung roles. Alam na natin na mayroon palang QA, mayroon palang QE. Ano specifically yung pinaka-role nila in general. Pero when we say quality, medyo vague siya. for most people. That's why siguro, even for devs, no, unfortunately, we spend a lot of times developing applications, creating solutions, ideating solutions, but yung mindset of quality is not actually incorporated nung tinuturuan tayo nung paano i-develop yung applications. So, I'll give you an insight of what is quality. So quality is a degree of conformance or yung pagsunod sa expectations or requirements na sometimes could be explicit or implicit. So pag sinabi nating explicit, these are clearly stated requirements or expectations. So pwede yan in forms of user stories, acceptance criteria, or kung naturo na sa inyo yung agile, I think natuturo naman na yun, no? Or kung naka-waterfall kayo, requirements documentation. So, dapat nandoon naka-state lahat ng mga expectations nila para hindi magkagulatan pagdating sa QAs na parang, ano to, bakit magkaiba tayo ng idea natin. We were expecting this. Kunyari, in-expect namin yung calendar picker yung calendar to be in a calendar picker form. Pero yung developers, ang ginawa nila, text box lang. Diba? Walang formatting. So, those should be explicit requirements or explicit expectations. When we talk about implicit naman. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung implied, kumbaga, in-expect nila, pero hindi nila binigyan ng time to be fully expressed. Hindi dinocument, hindi hindi nilagay sa documentations. Kaya, pagdating sa development pa lang, lito na sila, vague na. Or sometimes, unfortunately, nakakalimutan. Kasi nga, hindi naman sinabi. Pwedeng sabihin ng developers na, hindi nyo naman sinabi yan, bakit nyo ngayon hinahanap? Diba? So, even if they are implicit, it's actually better or best na gawin natin siyang explicit. Even those yung mga sinabi na, kunyari, usually maririnig natin, user-friendly. Diba? Naririnig nyo yan, user-friendly. Pero, iba-iba tayo ng definitions of being user-friendly. Pwedeng sabihin natin, sa akin, kaya ko siyang gamitin. Pero pag binigay ko kay Christina, binigay ko kay Erica, nahihirapan. Diba? Or sometimes, ang audience natin magkakaiba. Pwedeng senior citizen, pwedeng estudyante, pwedeng youth. Diba? So, it needs to have a specific criteria na explicitly stated para maging align tayo on what is the expectation or expectations from the application. So aside from that, ano pa yung pwedeng mag-contribute to quality? Pag sinabi natin quality sa applications, pwede rin natin sabihin na yung flow madaling sundan, di ba? Kaya kong gamitin, di ba? Sino pa ba dito yung nakakakita ng applications na may user's manual? Mobile app, di ba? Wala naman na yung user's manual. Very, very siguro seldom na may makita kayong what you call this, instructions, yung parang tutorial sa mobile app. But it means, kapag naglalagay pa kayo nun, ibig sabihin, hindi pa madaling sundan ng users nyo yung applications. Ibig sabihin din nun, mahirap gamitin. So, pwedeng umalis yung mga users nyo. So, dapat kayo, regardless of your role in the IT industry, nakikita nyo rin yun. Okay? And quality is not just the responsibility. I want to emphasize this. Quality is not just the responsibility of the testers. Okay? So if there are project managers here, developers here, business analysts here, hindi lang testers ha. And yung alam niyo yung tipo na kapag may nakita kayong bug, titingnan niyo yung tester. Naku, lumusot. 'Di ba? Lahat tayo, especially yung mga kasama natin sa development team, business analysts, systems analysts, developers, designers, 'di ba? We are all responsible for quality. Okay? So, hindi natin tuturo lagi yung testers. Pero syempre, ito yung specialization ng testers, ng QAs, QEs, na makita nila na Kasi sila yung merong creativity, iba yung wiring kasi ng testers, especially if compared to the developers. So merong certain creativity ang testers para kaya nila nakikita yung mga issues, 'di ba? Marami rin silang hugot sa buhay, mga nakita nila dati sa mobile apps, natatandaan nila. Kaya kapag tiningnan natin actually sa testing, merong dalawang roles pa specifically. Yung isa, QA. So sila yung dito sa Philippines tinatawag natin silang manual testers. So as mentioned earlier, sila yung gumagamit ng creativity nila to find the bugs. But it's not just that. Hindi lang siya simply, ayun lang pala, naghahanap lang pala kayo ng bugs. Kasi kung kayo, developers kayo or you are right now a student pero mahilig kayong mag-develop, try to find bugs. Um, and you will know na hindi pala ganun kadali. Okay? So sila din, they have to be very analytical and systematic when they are testing. So isipin nyo, if you are developing a web app, okay, so siyempre yung functionality dapat working siya, 'di ba? So nag-spend kayo ng time making sure that all the functionalities are working. But then, since it's a browser or it's a web app, there are browsers, di ba, na consideration. So it's not just the versions of those browsers or hindi lang siya Chrome ba to, Firefox ba to, Safari ba to, or Edge, di ba? It's not just those type of browsers, but also the different combinations of the browser versions and the OS na kung saan mo siya gagamitin. Okay? So, ganun yung dapat nating pag-iisip when we are testing. It's not just, okay, it's working, the functionalities are there, are working, but the different combinations, paano mo rin makikita yung mga bugs na yun? That's why you need to be very systematic when you are testing. Hindi pwedeng basta-basta ka lang alam mo yun parang, ay nag-test ako dito, mag-test ako dito. Dapat very systematic kasi isipin nyo kung malaking-malaki yung applications nyo, web app pa yan, laking sakit sa ulo, 'di ba? Um, what's worse is that when you are testing a mobile app. Madali lang kung iOS app, 'di ba? Kasi ilan lang yung um, mobile apps ilan lang yung iOS phones, ilan lang yung OSs nila, 'di ba? And madali rin mag-obsolete sila ng mga OSs compared to Android. Na pag inisip niyo Android, Samsung pa lang napakadami ng models, 'di ba? Dami pa nilang OSs. Pwede pa silang iba-ibang OSs. Isipin mo, Samsung pa lang 'yon. What if meron ka pang ibang manufacturers na kailangan mong i-support? Okay? That's why it's very critical for the manual testers to be very systematic, creative, and analytical. But of course, as mentioned kanina, kung nai-imagine yung sarili nyo na, o nga no, what if mobile app pala yung tinetest ko? O kaya pag pumasok ako sa isang company and then they are developing mobile apps, paano ko itetest yun? Tapos naswertehan ka pa, mag-isa kang tester, di ba? Kami sa community, maraming ganun na hugot eh. Iba, sabi na, Miss Mitch, paano ba to? Mag-isa lang ako na tester tapos mobile apps yung tinetest namin. 'Di ba? Tapos siyempre meron kang responsibility, ikaw nga yung gatekeeper ng quality, eh. So hindi ka magiging kampante na lulusot sa'yo yun sa dami-dami ng puwedeng functionalities and issues, 'di ba? So, there is a specific role wherein yun ang focus niya. Yung gamitin niya yung creativity ng isang tester and the coding skills of a programmer. So sila, kahit bigyan mo sila ng mobile app or web app ba yan, or ilang combinations or ilang apps pa na kailangan i-test, hindi sila ganun na natatakot. Kasi they can create automation scripts para matulungan sila na ma-prevent yung bugs. So kung nakikita nyo dito kanina, ang isa sa role ng tester is to find bugs. But if we are talking about QEs, they prevent bugs. So how do they do this? Ang ginagamit nila is yung coding skills nila plus yung creativity nila na paano ko ba itetesto? Tapos gagawa nila yun ng scripts, ng automation scripts, para even if dine-develop pa lang yung application natin, meron na silang tests na automation tests na nagagawa. And then, ang best practice pa natin dito is that we can give those automation scripts to our developers para they can run the scripts as they develop it. So sila din, nagdadagdag din sila ng automation scripts. So ngayon, kaya na nilang i-prevent yung bugs na lumabas, kunyari, bago pa ibigay sa amin, for testing, nakita na nung automation scripts na, dito nagfe-fail yung code mo. So, before pa nila i ibigay for testing, nababawasan na yung mga problema na makikita namin, okay? But that's actually the joy actually of QAs and QEs to find those issues ahead na before pa namin ibigay sa users, nakita na namin, okay? So, they also focus in optimization. So, kunyari, performance nung page, pag nag-load pa lang yung page, it took 3 seconds, di ba? Minsan, sa atin, matagal na yun eh. Di ba? Lalo na sa dami-dami ng mga competitors natin, ng mga applications natin, kunyari, Lazada and Shopee. So, syempre sila, pabilisan. Nakita nyo, nung nag-sale, nagkaroon ng 99, gumayon na rin yung competitor, di ba? Hindi nagtagal, meron na rin silang ganong same na sale, di ba? So, ngayon, sobrang neck to neck na sila. So, ganun yung contribution ng QE sa mga companies. We are optimizing the application so that we can be more competitive with our competitors. Okay? So, dito, kung makikita nyo rin, I've written, the task is to outsmart. We can outsmart the devs in case meron lumusot sa kanilang bugs. We can outsmart the hackers because also part of our role is to develop a secure application. Diba? So, nag-run kami ng mga automation scripts, but also we run security tests so that we know that it's not just functional, but it's also secure, high-performing, and usable applications. Okay? Marami ba yon? What do you think? Marami ba yung mga responsibilities? Malaking responsibility? Type nyo nga ng 1 if you think that's a lot of responsibility for one person. Type 1 if you think that's a big responsibility for one person. Yan. Yan, thank you. So, kung nakikita nyo yung responsibilities na yon, nilayout ko lang dito. We validate the functionalities, validate the hardware, diba? Hindi lang software, pati hardware, connectivity, minsan pati gumagana ba to kung ang internet mo, kunyari ngayon gumagamit ka sa phone, 3G lang, gagana ba yung functionalities, diba? Hindi lang siya, gumana siya dahil mabilis yung wifi ko, but then, if you use it on a kunyari, data, diba? Kakayanin ba niya? We even check for requirement conflicts sa umpisa pa lang, diba? Tingnan namin, parang hindi nag-a-align yung sinabi mo dito sa sinasabi mo dito. So, before pa ma-develop, na-clarify na siya. We also validate data. So, kung part din nyo, kunyari sa database, hindi lang kami functionality, pati database, tingnan namin, yung ginawa ko sa front-end, same ba din siya sa back-end? Diba? So, database, API, titingnan din yan. Compliance, diba? Sa security, sa laws, minsan meron din ganun eh. Katulad nung Data Privacy Act, kailangan maging compliant din yung application. So, kami rin, check namin yun. And yun, user-friendly, compliance to user experience na magandang user experience, diba? Hindi lang yung basta-basta na, okay, nagamit ko siya, but sakit sa ulo, diba? So, as mentioned dito kanina, we run security scans. Hindi lang binibigay, even if for those companies na merong information security officers, hindi lang namin nililive yun sa kanila. We are including ourselves in making the application secure. And that actually gives us a better market value. Kunyari, ako, kumbaga, marunong ako mag-test, marunong mag-automate, tapos nag-conduct pa akong security test, then syempre tumataas yung value ko sa market. Okay? But it's not just the IT department na tinutulungan namin. We also help yung product, making sure na yung pinapagawa niyang application, it makes sense. Sometimes kasi they do not know what they want. So, hindi ko sinasabi lahat, pero sometimes it happens. So, yung perspective natin, since we are putting ourselves as in the shoes of the users, di ba? Parang inisip natin, does it make sense for a senior citizen to have this kind of feature or to use this kind of element pag sa implementation na? Or marketing, tinutulungan din natin kapag ang application hindi magandang user experience, mahirap siyang ibenta, tama? The best way for us to market our application is when people share it. When naririnig yung word of mouth, pag sinabi ng, kunyari ako sinabi ko, ang galing nitong ano to, application na to. Tapos narinig ng kunyari katabi ko, sabi, ano yan? Itong application na to. Titingnan na rin nila. Hanggang sila, pati sila, mahook na rin sa application na ginagamit ko because of that good feedback from the user experience. We also help project managers deliver quality applications on time. Hindi lang mag-deliver ka on time, but quality applications. And operations, kapag kunyari naka-release na tayo to production, pag nagagamit na ng end users natin, nakikita rin natin, may mga issues ba kapag mayroong production issues, minsan tinatawag din yung QAs to validate before the developers fix it. Okay? And of course, meron din, kung meron kayo sa company nyo na audit. So, lalo na kapag financial company ka, kailangan merong conformance, kaya BSP or even sa government, yung DPA. So, those are very important. So, since hindi lang puro functionalities ang iniisip natin, kundi yung integrity, di ba? Kanina, we've mentioned about high-performing, usable, accessible, hindi lang mga abled, kundi pati yung those people with disabilities, they can also access it. And secure, di ba? A lot of companies have closed down, probably because of security issues. Diba? Parang nasira yung pangalan nila because of nahack sila. And those things, when it happens, kailangan yun i-declare. They are required to declare those things, yung mga data breaches na yun. So, I want you to know some numbers here about security specialists. You know? So, all over the world, we have 14 million security specialists. Ito pa lang galing sa LinkedIn. So, syempre, for sure, maraming mga hindi ma-access ng LinkedIn or hindi naglalagay sa LinkedIn ng profile sila. Pero ito pa lang yung recorded sa LinkedIn. And then, out of that 14 million, 143,000 of those security specialists are from the Philippines. Okay? Pero, isipin nyo, so kung meron tayong 143,000 na security specialists in the Philippines, there are big manufacturers of hackers all over the world. So here are the 7 hacker manufacturers in the world. So first is, anong hula nyo? Alin dyan? China. So China has almost half of, sa kanila nanggagaling yung 41% of the world cyber attack. Diba? And 41% yun, isipin nyo, kung sa dami nila, yes, sasabihin nyo, ang dami kasi ng mga Chinese eh. Diba? And they're not just even, always based in China. Minsan, nakalabasan rin sila, mas marami na rin silang alam. And then, 10% is from USA, followed by Turkey, Russia, Taiwan. Isipin nyo ang Taiwan, guys. Ang liit lang ng population yan, pero nasa top 5 sila. And I think it's because of they want to secure their country na, 'di ba, parang ang daming nangyayari all over the world, daming mga nag-threat ng war, and they want to make sure that they have a fight. Or they parang unahan na nila yung mga mag-hack sa kanila, yung mag-terrorize sa kanila. Okay? And number 6 is from Brazil, and actually tie sila ng Romania with 3.3% ng mga world cyber attacks coming from them. But why am I talking about how many security specialists are there and which ones are the top hackers from? Okay? So, I think you know na narinig nyo na yung COMELEC, 'di ba? Yung nag-leak yung database ng voters information, and then yung mga nangyari sa BPI, 'di ba? Yung mga security issues na nangyari sa kanila. I'm just gonna share with you here 4 biggest breaches by the number of people impacted. So, based lang siya sa numbers ng impacted. Not necessarily yung impact itself ng security issue na yun. Okay? Or ng data breach. So, number 1, with 10.88 billion number of people impacted is from Cam4 data breach. So, back in March 2020, they leak personal identifiable information. Ibig sabihin, mare-recognize mo na, ito, kay ano to, record to ni Paul Anthony. Ito, record to ni Francis Carlo. Diba? So, makukuha na, pati, sabi ito, nakuha pati chat, records, emails, password. Diba? Password. IP address nyo, payment logs, 'di ba? Sino yung tingin niyo dito, yung 'pag nakita yung payment logs yun, nakakatakot talaga kasi hindi lang makita nila, "Uy, anong binili nito? Saan 'to bumili?" Kundi yung information puwedeng may credit card information, 'di ba? Kung hindi yun naka-hash properly, those are very valuable informations. And what they do here is they usually sell it sa underground para parang sabihin nila, "Oh, per record or per thousands of records, sa dami ba naman nito, 10 billion, 'di ba? Eto yung amount ko." Okay? Or puwede rin nilang gawin na, sige, Cam4, kung gusto mong hindi ko i-leak 'tong information mo, bayaran mo ko, this amount. Okay? So, gano'n yung mga ginagawa ng mga hackers. And then si Yahoo, back in October 2017, there was a leak of 3 billion security questions and answers. 'Di ba? So, alam niyo naman na anong purpose ng security questions sa mga kunyari sa email, 'di ba? Kapag nasagot mo 'yon, ibig sabihin kaya mo na mag-login nung account nila, 'di ba? So, ang dami mo nang puwedeng makita sa email. Regardless if it's payment information, confidential information, company patented na data, 'di ba? So those are uh, big value. Valued talaga sila pagdating sa mga company. So it's very important to keep your company secure. Okay? So ano naman yung mga worst data breaches so far? So dito, yung mga nag-leak sila, kunya sa Parler, 70 terabyte leaked of information, kung post man yan, messages. Facebook, di ba? A lot of us are using Facebook. 214 million accounts, yung PII, Personal Identifiable Information. Location, di ba? So, alam na nila, lalo na pag mga Chinese, alam na nila, ikaw, Ain, alam na nila kung anong pinapanood mo. Alam na nila kung saan ka located, 'di ba? So it's very scary to know this, na nakukuha nila 'tong mga information na 'to. But why am I telling you all of these things? 'Di ba? Because I want you to position yourself into something better. Okay? So one, syempre, first position our country. What's happening with our country and these hackers? Kunyari, China and Philippines, di ba? We have this ongoing verbal threat of war because of the new Coastal Guard law, di ba? So, wag kang tatawid dito kundi giyera 'to, di ba? So, hindi nyo alam, baka mamaya yun lang yung naririnig natin, puro verbal lang, but then they are already going behind para malaman ano ba yung mga protection na meron ang Philippines, anong ba mga plans nila against us, 'di ba? They're always ahead. Yung mga hackers, they're always ahead. Okay? Number two is companies, di ba? I want you, of course, to be an asset to your company. Again, it's not just about functionality, but for big companies, of course, they value integrity, di ba? They would move mountains to protect yung brand nila and having a well-rounded QE, someone who can think of functionality, security, performance, that would really help them deliver that brand in a good application. Okay? So let's just look at this. Um, kunyari yan, si Marriott, nag-expose sila ng data. So, si Marriott Hotel, di ba, it's a group of hotels. Kung isipin nyo, kung 2.5 million guest records were stolen, di ba, syempre, lalo kung high profile yung mga nag-stay sa'yo, they will get mad. Sometimes, pwede nilang i-sue yung company na hinayaan mo yung information ko na makita ng mga tao, especially kung ayaw mo na malaman nila kung, di ba, na nagstay ka doon. Di ba, iniwas mo yung paparazzi and so on. Okay? So, thirdly, of course, most of you will think, what's in it for me, Mitch? You're talking about country, you're talking about companies. But ako naman, ano naman makukuha ko? For you, this means career with the biggest names, with companies with the biggest names. Diba? A lot of us, sino ba dito yung gusto mag-work sa Apple? Type 1. Diba? Sino yung gusto na makapag-work sa Cisco, sa Amazon? Wala? Gusto nyo, ano lang, ABC, yan. Diba? So, a lot of us dream of these companies. We can only dream of them. And I want to show you what they are actually looking for. Okay? Since most of you are students, I want to share ano may hinahanap nila. Baka pasok ako dyan. Baka pwede mag-apply. Okay? So, let's look at Apple. So, si Apple, sabi niya, we need IoT security software quality engineer. Okay? That's a mouthful already. Yung palang security specialization na. Quality engineer, magaling na. Nilagyan mo pa ng IoT. Okay? I want to emphasize some things na kailangan yung makuha para sabihin nyo na, ay, pasok ako dyan. Okay? So, sabi niya dito, 3 years of QA experience, preferably on hardware, software, latest configuration knowledge, or management and technologies, security issues and protocols. So, dapat aware ka din, syempre, di ba? Kung security officer ka, kailangan talaga to na alam mo yung nangyayari, ano yung mga technology na pwede mong gamitin, and working knowledge on network security and applied cryptography, 'di ba? Hirap pang i-pronounce, 'di ba? Ability to plan, craft and execute software quality tests for full stack Internet of Things, security devices, control plane and data plane, o 'di ba? Automated repeatable test harness, ibig sabihin kaya mo mag-automate, and managing testing infrastructure including development of internal test automation. So, pwede ka pang pagawin ng automation framework, oh, 'di ba? Or automation tool nyo mismo, 'di ba? So, napakataas ng expectations, pero syempre, you're looking at Apple. So, mataas din talaga expectations nila. Ito naman, galing sa Amazon, 'di ba? I actually applied in Amazon. It's just that nung time na yon, may quota sila ng i-accept na visa. Kasi syempre, Pinoy, kaya natin ng visa for US work. Anyway, quality engineer or quality assurance engineer, they're looking for experience in software, QA, and development. Success in executing test plans, test cases, and automated. So, meron pa rin automation. Laging hindi nawawala. Scripting, user-level test automation, testing across different platforms, mobile, PC, experience in specialized and technical testing, including security. Okay? So, lagi sila ngayon, isipin nyo, QA na to ha, QA, QE. And yet, they are always looking for security. Okay? Last one. This is for Cisco. So, hindi to mahilig sa mga hardware or sobrang idol yung mga nasa Cisco. They are looking for experience in software development, They are looking for those with knowledge and understanding of application security tools. Okay? So, kailangan alam nyo kung anong mga pwedeng gamitin, ano yung dapat gamitin para sa anong platform, and automated penetration testing and dynamic web application. So, security testing pa din. Knowledge of application security concepts. Okay? So, hindi na siya parang, isipin nyo to, 1 to 3 years experience. Hindi na nga niya in-expect na matagal ka eh. Parang matagal ka sa industry para magkaroon ka nito. They are already expecting people who are just beginners in the industry to have specialization skills. Okay? Ganun kataas ang expectations. Only if gusto mo magtrabaho sa mga pangalan na mention ko. Okay? So, the only question now is, ikaw, maybe you can position your country better as one of the most secure countries. Maybe you can protect your company, or kung ikaw mismo may sarili kang company, protect them from hacker factories na na-mention natin, secure your applications, government man yan or private company. Or maybe you can help put some companies become the leading secure application developers that we have ever experienced. The choice is yours. Diba? So, kayo na lang ang magde-decide saan mo gustong i-position yung country mo, company mo, and yung sarili mo. Okay? Thank you.